Hello. So this will be a video about word order in Greek. First, I want to say a few things in general about word order, and then I'll give you some examples about how word order can affect the meaning of a phrase. It's pretty straightforward. It might sound a bit complicated, but it isn't really. So usually languages are classified when it comes to word order by the order in which subject, verb and object appear. Okay, of course, there are many other things that might have a specified order when you speak a language, but these are considered to be the three most important elements. Now, most European languages like French, Russian, English have a subject verb object order, and for brevity we call this SVO. Yeah. Greek is part of this group essentially, is part of the SVO group. However, there is something more that happens in Greek and in some other languages that have inflections, that have endings for the verbs and the nouns, like Polish for instance. Yeah? What happens here is not unique to Greek. We can say, if we want to translate this phrase, Peter loves Mary, okay, we can say it in this order, which is the standard one. Petros αγαπά τη Μαρία, but you can also say την Μαρία αγαπά ο Πέτρος. The main meaning, the core meaning of the two phrases is the same. Okay, notice that the first one is an SVO phrase, subject ο Πέτρος, verb αγαπά, την Μαρία the object. And the second one has an object verb subject order. Okay, and we can have different things here as well, different combinations, different orders. The Maria now is first, it's exactly the same thing that what you have here, and now it appears first. The verb is still in the same place, and o Petros is now last. Again, o Petros here is again the object, and we know the subject, and we know that o Petros is the subject because it has o and the ending of the nominative. Similarly, we know that in Maria is the object because we have the article tin and the ending, but the ending really in the feminine is the same in nominative and accusative. So, at the first level, when you're a very beginner, you will be told that in Greek these two phrases mean the same thing. Because look, we know which one is the object, we know which one is the subject, we know both of these things through the articles and the endings. So these phrases mean the same thing. Peter loves Mary. Now, today I want to take this a step further. Okay. And now let me say something more about the word order in general. I said before that Greek, like most of the European languages, is an SVO language, subject, verb, object. However, Greek, although this is the predominant order, can also be classified as a free word order, or unfixed. Yeah, you'll find both these terms. What this means is what I just showed you, that you have these alternative possibilities. However, the predominant one is this SVO. And just to get an idea, if you go to Wikipedia, there are two tables on this subject. You see, it's the article about word order, yeah. And there are two studies. Sorry, so the first study, actually various studies, more than two. So you will see here, both here in this table and in this table, that actually the most common order is not SVO. SVO is actually second. Yeah? It's just the most common to most of us because it's the most common in Europe. But actually SOV, subject, object, verb, is more common. Yeah. Now the percentages vary depending on the study, somewhere around 40% of the languages. And this study actually looked at numbers of families of languages. So, you know, like Romance languages will only count as one, and Slavic languages will similarly count only as one. And if you look at families, then the difference is very big. It's 56.6% of the languages have a subject, object, verb. I'm saying this just to get an idea that this is just a convention. Okay, we would have a language, we could invent a language where actually all the orders are used in human languages, but you know, we could invent a language with any kind of order we want. We could say the article would always go at the end, the subject in the middle, and the verb at the very beginning, and the object will go just before the article. We could make up any order we want. It's just a matter of convention. However, once a language has a rule, there are several meanings that go together with this rule. Now, in English, not really, because in English the order is fixed. Like in English, just to give a quick example, because I suppose the language we most are more acquainted with, if I change the order in Peter loves Mary, make it Mary loves Peter, the meaning changes, yeah? And we saw just a minute ago that this is not the case with Greek. Okay, this is not what happens with Greek. But in English, if you change the order and you put the object first and the subject last, you change the meaning. You don't change the order. Okay. Now, what I want to do is look at how, in a language like Greek, where you have a predominant order and at the same time the possibility to have different orders, how this actually affects not so much the meaning, rather the emphasis of the phrase. Okay, the first one, okay, let's start with number 2 actually here, yeah? Actually, and this doesn't need to be capitalized, it's a mistake. So, την Μαρία αγαπά ο Γιάννης. Okay, so instead of saying the Petros I used before, well, anyway, ο Γιάννης. Ο Γιάννης αγαπά τη Μαρία, yeah? Instead of saying ο Γιάννης αγαπά τη Μαρία, I changed the order and I made it like this. Την Μαρία αγαπά ο Γιάννης. Yeah? So I put the object, so this would be object, verb, subject, yeah? I hope you can see that. We know this is the subject because of the O here. Now, if we have this, this in English, usually you can show it through the stress of your voice. John loves Mary. Yeah? It's Mary, not someone else. This is what it means. Usually in Greek, if you change the order, if you have the normal order SVO, it means nothing. It's just, you know, pure statement without any emphasis. If you change the order and you use an unusual order, the item that comes first is emphasized. So if I say την Μαρία αγαπά ο Γιάννης, it means he loves Mary and not someone else, what I have here in 3. Yeah. If I use the second order, if I use the order that I have here, την αγαπά τη Μαρία ο Γιάννης, this could be verb, object, subject, and I could also have verb, subject, object, but it doesn't matter for now, don't worry about that. Την αγαπά την Μαρία ο Γιάννης. Notice here, this would be in English, John loves Mary. He really loves her. Either he really loves her, or maybe the other person misheard the word I said. He thought I said hates Mary, or he thought I said he dislikes Mary, or he likes Mary, or whatever, and I'm correcting him. I say, John loves Mary. Yeah? So the emphasis in English will go with the tone of your voice, with the stress of your voice. In Greek, you can change the order. It's the more natural thing would be actually in Greek to change the order. Τη Μαρία αγαπά ο Γιάννης. You see also the stress is somehow different here, yeah? sorry, την αγαπά τη Μαρία ο Γιάννης, this one, number 2, την αγαπά τη Μαρία ο Γιάννης. Notice also here, the natural way to say this would be with this tin. Tin refers to Maria, it's a personal pronoun. So it's like saying the equivalent would be in English to say something like this. He loved, shared, Mary. I'm saying Mary twice in this phrase essentially. The reason is if I put αγαπά, it sounds a bit weird at the beginning of the phrase. If you have the verb on its own at the beginning of the phrase, it sounds like an imperative. That's why we don't usually do that. So if you want to put a verb in the indicative about describing something and not giving an order, that is, at the beginning, you usually stick a pronoun before it, which doesn't really mean anything other than this is not an imperative. This is just, I'm just describing something. Okay, now if we look at number 1, because in English you have this interesting possibility. You can say John loves Mary without changing the order or anything. It's very economic. Just with the stress of your voice, you can say that it's John who loves Mary and not somebody else. It's not Peter who loves Mary, it's John who loves Mary. Okay, so for this one in Greek, you can make it again through intonation. You keep the same word order, so you would say ο Γιάννης αγαπά τη Μαρία, ο Γιάννης αγαπά τη Μαρία. Okay, so you can do it with intonation, yeah? But you can also here say something like this. It is John who loves Mary. Of course, you have this possibility too in English, yeah? I just didn't mention it because it doesn't really help us for today. But you could say this. It is John who loves Mary. And in Greek, because we already have this order, it's a natural order, we cannot really show it by changing the order, yeah? If the subject is what we want to emphasize. The subject comes first anyway, so you can put another verb, είναι ο Γιάννης που αγαπά τη Μαρία, είναι ο Γιάννης που αγαπά τη Μαρία, and now you are saying something like, it is John who loves Mary. And this way, keeping the same word order but adding the word είναι in front, you show that it's John and not somebody else. Okay, so just to summarize quickly, because I thought that was quite a bit of information, Greek is an SVO language, but you can also play with other word orders. This is very common in European language, nothing special about Greek here. And if you do play with this word order in Greek, if you don't follow the usual, the most common subject, verb, object order, it's usually to emphasize either the verb or the object. That's it.